Hello, hello, good evening. I hope you've had a great weekend. It's Sandy with Quilted Treasures and More with what's on my crafting table. And I have double checked off screen as I usually do when checking out things for Facebook. If I do not reply to your comment, just know that I will get it after I am finished up, because as has been the case here, I don't know, it happened for about a month and then it got better and now it's freezing again. So I'm not sure what's going on with Facebook. I am getting all kinds of colorful lights telling me it's on, it's off, and so we're just gonna go with what we've got, and I'm just gonna chit chat with y'all and do some painting and catch up about the week. So what's been going on around my crafting table? Well, let's see. I finished up another business board and got that delivered this week. I took part in a workshop, and it was for the Christmas tree cake. I'll get it in a minute. Door-hanger. You may have seen a couple of pictures posted where I started the workshop, but I did not post pictures of the finished because I have decided this evening I am going to paint the very same thing for y'all. So you get to, I'm not going to do it the same way because we used what is called a bubble wrap technique on the background, and I'm not going to do that. It takes a little time and gets a little messy, and I have to stand up for that one, so I decided I'm going to skip that part. We're going to paint the background, and I may add some things to it later on, but just for tonight we're going to start with the background and get the Christmas tree cake done and the Merry and Bright, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I'm gonna get started, and while I'm starting, I forgot to get a new egg carton. I think this one will work. I've got a few slots empty in it. It's so funny, I forget to grab things, and then I'm sitting here going, well, I forgot such and such. It's okay, we're gonna work with this. I am gonna start with white, and I'm going to go ahead and go over the Christmas tree. And once I get that done, then I'm gonna start with the background, which will be what they call Santa red is the color that I'll be using. Again, if you comment and I do not reply, now if you're watching, jump on and tell me hello. That way at the end I can tell you hello back. And of course I always appreciate you watching and hanging out with me. And if you're not able to hang out with the live, remember you can always catch the replay just by scrolling down my page, or I do have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it, and you can watch all of the replays, binge watch, as the people do with various folks and different shows. So this was a pretty cool workshop. I don't know how many of y'all are into the Christmas cake theme. Maybe you're going, what Christmas cake theme? Undoubtedly, there has been a Christmas cake theme, and either I am just now finding out about it because I really haven't seen anything about it, or it's like this secret thing and only certain people know about it. So undoubtedly, this is the big thing, the Christmas tree cakes, and they even have ice cream now, Christmas tree cake ice cream, if you didn't know that. That has become a big thing, and people are searching for that, undoubtedly. So, if you were not in the know, well, now you know. I know I love the little Christmas tree cakes that come out each year, and somebody told me, oh yeah, they're in Walmart. I'm like, ooh, buddy. So I'm like, okay, it's time to start looking for them in the stores because I do like them. Now, I have not tried the ice cream. I have not even looked for the ice cream, to be honest with you. But I have heard that the ice cream is there. And sometimes, well, I say there, it's not everywhere. Let me rephrase that. So I have heard of people hunting for the Christmas tree cake ice cream. If you knew there was the theme going on about the decorating with the Christmas tree cakes and all the different like t-shirts, and I found out yesterday there are t-shirts. There are all kinds of accessory items with the Christmas tree cake. I didn't know that. Of course, I'm not really one of those that follow fashion very closely, so I guess a lot of times I'll find out themes because of, you know, being in various door hanger groups, and so I find out about themes and things that are popular and stuff, but I was not aware. Somehow I missed the whole Christmas tree cake thing, and so undoubtedly this is not the first year this has been going on. I'm like, okay, well, it is new to me, and maybe it's new to you. But if you have seen Christmas tree cake items, tell me in the comments what you've seen. Have you seen the t-shirts? I hear there are t-shirts. I have not seen any t-shirts, but I hear there are t-shirts. I hear there are all kinds of accessories. I hear there's coffee cups and mugs, and I didn't know that either. I've not seen any of these. So if you have seen these items, list them in the comments. Tell me, you know, what you saw, where you saw it, because I'm like, this may be a cool bandwagon to get on. Maybe if I can find some, maybe do some giveaways at some point in time. So I think that would be kind of cool. I hope your week has been well. Mine has been busy. Getting ready for a fall festival, which happened yesterday. We took part in a fall festival. Got to meet a lot of folks, talk to a lot of people, say hi, pass out some information about quilted treasures and more. If you have found me on Facebook because of the festival, I am so happy you are here. It was so good to meet and talk with everyone yesterday. A wonderful group of people. Had a good time and just listening to the band and hanging out there. All right, let's see. Christmas cake, we'll let it dry. I'm going to get started on the background. I'm going to get a bigger brush for the background. And I'm going to be using Santa Red for this. So I'm going to get a pretty good bit in my little container here. And I forgot to start my time lapse. Oh well, that's okay. I've discovered that on, like when I'm doing the reels and stuff, as I post them, it really cuts off some of what I've done. So I'm like, okay, well, if I don't get it from the very beginning, it's not that big of a to-do, because the reels are only so many seconds anyway. Stories are even shorter, so. But this is Santa Red, and we're just going to work on going around the tree. And like I said, I'm going to do something with the red. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I thought about polka dots, but I'm not sure. I haven't made up my mind completely yet. One time I thought about maybe doing a splatter technique, maybe make it look like snow. But I'll run through these ideas and then I'll decide later, oh yeah, let's do it this way. So right now we're just in the thinking through stage, thinking through and trying to figure out what I want to do. The bubble wrap was an interesting technique, but I discovered it's very messy, kind of like the splatter technique. You have to be careful with the splatter technique. So it's messy, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do, I don't think I want to do the bubble wrap this evening, and I'm not sure about the splatter technique. I had fun doing that with the Snow Village one I did that said Happy Holidays. But the only thing about that was I had paint literally everywhere afterwards. I was finding paint all over the place. I didn't realize it had splattered that badly. I really didn't. I was like, oh no. So, it was crazy. But I did have fun doing that. I was like, man, I'd love to do this more. I just need like a barrier up around my space. So that way it doesn't go everywhere. I found it on some of my brushes. I found it on my blow dryer. My little heat gun thing that I use now. Found it on that. Found it on my, I keep a hole punch, 3 hole punch here at my work table, and I found paint splatter all over it. I was like, wow! I didn't realize it had gone that far. Had some folks yesterday that were doing some shopping for Christmas presents. That was pretty cool. We enjoyed talking to them about Christmas things. Speaking of Christmas things, if you have been thinking about getting an order in that you will need for Christmas, I'll go ahead and tell you now. It is the time to order. I am a one-woman business, and as far as the painting aspect goes, now there are some things that are strictly done with some of the boxes and stuff that we do, the keepsake boxes, that my husband does, and he can produce those a lot faster than I can produce painted items because, well, I mean, putting a coat of stain goes a lot quicker than multiple coats and colors of painting. That's just the way that works. So, he may have a longer order time than what I have, but my order time is going to be closing down not very far into the month of December, so I'll go ahead and tell you that. I'll keep tabs on how much I have on my work order list, and depending upon the number of work orders will depend upon how long I go into December. So that is said to let you know that if you are thinking about having something painted or cut or created for yourself, a gift for yourself, or a gift for someone special on your list, message me or text me or visit our website and place your order through our online shop. I'm just telling you, don't delay too long, because once the deadline hits, then that'll be all that I can humanly possibly do before the Christmas holidays. Because I do have to have time to get ready for holidays with my family too. I want to help you get ready for the holidays, but I have to have time to get ready for the holidays as well. So I have to make deadlines. I wish I could just, do it all. And I actually, have learned the hard way over the years. You know, when you're young, you think you can do it all. Oh, yeah, I can get it all done. And then you sit up till, 3, 4 in the morning for every night for a solid week. And after you do that a few times, you get to thinking, maybe I can't do it all. So, I'm just saying, I would love to be able to do things right up until, really, really close to Christmas, but that's just not humanly possible. All right, I'm going to kind of dry this a little bit. Stick my brush in the water there, and then we're going to do a second coat of the red. While this is drying, I'll see if anything has changed with Facebook. It shows the time clicking off, but the screen is froze. And like I said, if it does not show comments, if you commented something and I don't acknowledge that you've commented, just know that I will get to your comment after the Facebook Live is over with. All right, let's go for that second coat of Santa Red. Try to keep my apron over my shirt. I thought about it afterwards. I had put on this white t-shirt. I got it from the festival we were at yesterday. And I sat down and I thought, white t-shirt, red paint, this may not have been a good combination. So I'm like, apron, where's my apron? All right, so working through my second coat. I have a quick question. How many are having trouble finding things? Are you finding it difficult to find your items on your Christmas gift list? Just comment yes or no below. And even if you're watching the replay, still comment, because I'll get a notification that you've commented and then I can reply back and acknowledge that I've read your comments. So even on replays, you can still comment. Sometimes different ones will say, put in hashtag replay before you make your comment, but I'm not that picky. Just comment, I'll get a notification and I'll comment back. I want to know if anybody has seen the Christmas tree cake stuff. I really do. Like I said, I've been hearing about t-shirts, and I even heard there is a Christmas tree cake dip. So if you've heard of that and you have the recipe, please share. Because I'm like, seriously? I mean, this is a big thing undoubtedly, and I'm like, okay, I undoubtedly have been, in my house way too long or something, because I had no idea. Until this workshop popped up, no idea. I thought it was cute as cute can be. I was like, oh, it's the Christmas tree cake. That's so cool. So I was excited to do the workshop and stuff, but then as I got in the workshop, I'm like, what do you mean? This is like a theme? So I'm like, okay, is there going to be like Christmas tree ornaments, and is this going to be like some of the other themes that we see? Tell you what, I went into one of the local craft stores, and there was an aisle with one particular children's Christmas show theme on it. I could not believe what all was on that aisle that was that particular children's show. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not saying the name, because I actually, this happened during our workshop. Undoubtedly, something was mentioned or was hummed, or a portion of a song for a show or something was actually sang out loud. And it kind of locked up our teaching class live. So I'm being very cautious about saying actual names. I said the actual name of a place a while ago and I thought, oh, I shouldn't have said that. So if I paint this and I go back and watch the video afterwards and it stops when after I say the name of that place, I'm just not gonna be talking about anything on the Facebook Live, I guess, other than what color paint I'm using. Oh my goodness. It's funny. I get tickled sometimes at some of the stuff. That I hear about, and things that are said, and then emails that are sent and stuff like that. So. I can't remember where I started now. Can't remember. I think I started right up in here. I was like, oh, I don't remember where I was busy talking and wasn't paying attention to my start point. I do that from time to time. And of course I would run out of paint and need just enough to get me back to my point, to my start point, and have to put some more in my egg carton here. Okay, so now we're going to dry this, and then we're going to move on to the Christmas cake and work with it. And of course the lights on my main program still see the countdown going. None of the numbers or the screen is updating though, so I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, with all the glitches, if it would be better to pre-record and just post it. Of course, that doesn't mean that that means that I do not get to see your comments until afterwards. Of course, right now I'm not seeing your comments live. You may comment, but I'm not seeing them until afterwards. So, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be any different. Try to make sure I dry this at the bottom really well, otherwise I'm going to stick my hand in it when I go to paint my Christmas tree cake. Alright, now for the Christmas tree cake. I'm going to put one more coat of white on this because I want to make sure it's good and covered. And this particular door hanger, I had the same trouble. I say door hanger, it's not the door hanger's fault. I had to do I believe three coats on the workshop door hanger that I did. Or maybe four. I'm trying to think. So if you see me like dip a whole lot in my paint and I don't really go very far with what I'm putting on, it's because I am trying to make sure that it's a really good coat and that I'm not spreading it out too thin. Because I want it to be a nice white icing look to my Christmas tree cake. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. Off to the side over here is actually going to be the side of the cake. And so it's going to be it's not going to be white. It's going to be sort of a cake color. But I'm going to go ahead and do that white as well, so that way it'll have a good base. Y'all have heard me talk about having a good base of white so that the colors are nice and smooth and bold. And I ran off the edge. That's okay, I have a baby wipe handy. Somehow I either flicked red off in the Christmas tree a while ago, or dripped it or something, so I had to grab a baby wipe and get it out of the Christmas tree. Okay, so I'm going to turn this kind of sideways a little bit. And what I'm going to do is next I'm going to get oh, no, that one's the wet one. That one's the dry one. Okay. Trying to keep my towels here from getting confused. All right, I'm going to use regular red on the Christmas cake itself. And I'm just going to grab a round brush for this. I think I used this one the other night. And, oh, I guess it would be helpful if I actually dried, especially where the red's going to go. Otherwise, I might end up with pink. Hey, that might be cool. Change it up and do some of the peppermint looking, I call it peppermint looking colors. I really don't know what the theme is called, where it's the pink and the kind of mint green. I just remember seeing a lot of ornaments and some of the tinsel and stuff, rope and things like that, that came out and had those bright colors. All right, here's another question for you. Are you a traditional Christmas color person? Or do you like to see different colors? I know some folks that went with black and white for Christmas and had black and white theme, And I know of someone who used peacock colors for their Christmas tree. I was like, ooh. So are you strictly traditional? Red and green? All the way? No changing? Or do you like to see different things? Like the gingerbread house colors, or the peppermint colors as I call them. So I'm just using the round brush, and I'm not really worried about sticking straight to the lines, because this is, these are the stripes that are piped on, for those of you in the cake baking world who deal with icing and stuff. So I'm actually going to do several layers of this. Did I just? Yes, I did. Me and the red and this white are just, I can tell you, we're not gonna see kosher tonight. So but I'm not going to worry about sticking straight in the line, because if you think about it, when you do icing, most of the time it has a little bit of a variation to it. Unless you are just really, really good at keeping a steady hand. This part was actually fun for me, because I'm like, oh yay, I don't have to keep a real steady hand and keep my keep my lines perfectly straight. So I was excited about doing the lines on this one, because I was like, all right, if I cross over, it's no big deal. It just looks like the icing bag popped out a little more than normal. So that, and you have a little bit of a wave here and there, so I'm like, oh yeah. So I'm going to lay down 1 or 2 coats that are just kind of like normal, and then I'm going to come back and probably lay down like a thicker coat. I may actually let the paint sit just for a little bit so that it stiffens up, and then come back and add a little more. So that way it looks like, you know, icing. Now y'all don't run out before I get through with this and buy up all the Christmas cake stuff, okay? Leave me one. I've been looking at this all week long while we were doing the workshop, and now here we are again here I am again on Sunday looking at it, or here I am again looking at it. I am wanting some Christmas cake snacks. Alright, so about to finish up the first round here of the red, and it looks like my red is pretty dry up here on this first one, so I'm going to come back, and I'm not going to be real picky about spreading out all my paint. I may leave some of it kind of clumped up, kind of give it a little bit of a textured or piled up look. Lay it on kind of thick, which is what you normally don't do when you're painting. Well, there are some things, there are some techniques that you where you do give it that dimension, that depth look. So not all, but most of what I do, you want it all smoothed out, and you definitely don't want it all piled up in one spot. But in this particular case, Like I said, this was kind of fun because I didn't have to be real particular about being in lines or anything like that. So you could almost like just dab it on and let it dry just kind of bumpy. Y'all, I know it's November, but I really am still kind of trying to transition to, I can't even believe October's gone. So it's like the thought of November, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not really there. Somebody said something about how many days till Christmas, and I'm like, don't tell me that. I'm not ready to hear that. I know it's coming, just, that's like Thanksgiving. Oh boy. All right, so this is a different red than what I painted the background with. I think you can see the difference in the camera shot. The red on the Christmas cake is true red, and the red that's on the background is Santa red. And so the Santa red is a little bit darker. So again, I'm just kind of piling on the paint, not really thinning it out a lot or spreading it out a lot. Just kind of making it look like it's got a little texture to it. All right, now I'm going to do a little drying. And I think I just stuck my brush in my hair. Y'all. If I put those on my head, I won't remember where they are. I really do think I just stuck the brush in my hair. Charity, come see if I got red paint in my hair. Come see if I got red paint in my hair. I think I stuck my brush in my hair. No. Did I? No? Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, you just never know what you see when you get on one of my lives. Run across one of my lives. All right, one more coat and then we're going to move on. I would not doubt me putting red paint in my hair though. I literally have left from a live, finished up a live and walked off, and I've had paint on my elbows. I've had paint, of course, on my arm in various places. My hand is not really, that big of a surprise, but, my elbow. And then, of course, there was the day that Charity looked at me and said, "Is that yellow paint between your eyes?" And I'm like, "What?" Sure enough, I had yellow paint right here between my eyes. I was like, well, I don't know, probably. So it would not surprise me to turn around and find red paint in my hair. All right, so this is going to be the last coat of the red. I think I've got it covered really well. And then what I'm going to do is add sprinkles to my Christmas cake. one more time around with the dryer. And then what I'm going to do is get a couple of different color greens. I'm going to get a really bright green and use it. And then I'm going to get, this one is festive green. So, goes well with Christmas. We're going to add some sprinkles. Oh, y'all, I did not do the side of my cake over there. I'm supposed to do that before the red. It's okay. I'll just use a round brush. It'll take a little longer, but I can get around my red color. I'll do that before I do my sprinkles. Okay. So now, this is going to be down this side, and it is going to be a light color. So I'm using light mocha. I'm not going to put a whole ton. All right, I'm going to grab a different round brush. Oh, that's not a round brush, yet it's in my round brush bin. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start at the top up here, and I'll just go around my red. It would have been a lot faster to just go down before I did the red, but that's okay. We managed to get in a little bit of a hurry. But that's okay. We can go around the red. It's not that big of a deal. I found where I splattered red again. Good grief. Maybe I should have just done a splatter effect on the icing instead of actually just painting it. The Christmas cake I did in the workshop, I actually made this darker. But after I did it, I was like, I don't know if I like that so much. So this time around, we're doing just the straight light mocha color. I think I like it better than adding color to darken it up. So just working on the side of the cake, and I'll do 2 coats of this, and then we'll add the sprinkles, because cake needs sprinkles. And all the little kids said, "Yay!" All right, so there's coat number 1. I'll start back up at the top. Go around the red icing, unless of course I just run right over it. Man. This is just one of those nights, I guess. Undoubtedly, I'm excited about getting to the sprinkles and just don't want to take my time and get this done right. Okay. I could have very easily gone over that with the red paint. Wouldn't have been a big deal. But since I had a baby wipe handy, I'll just get it off that way. just a little bit more. And then we'll be through with the cake part. And we'll get the sprinkles on our Christmas tree cake. Okay, on to some sprinkles. Now then, like I said, I've got two colors here of green. I've got the lighter and the darker, and that's what we're going to be using. I have got to find my brush that I used because I couldn't remember which one I used the other day. So I think it was this one. Yeah, I think it was this one. Or maybe it was that red one that I tossed back over here a while ago. Maybe that's the one I used. Okay, we'll go with that one. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn this around sideways, or maybe a little bit upside down. And I'm just gonna dip into the paint, get some on my brush, and I'm gonna hold it really, really close to the bristles, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go straight down and straight up. And just make what looks like sprinkle lines. And I'm just gonna go all over. Even adding a few on top of my icing. And just turning my brush different ways. So some of them are pointing up, and some of them are pointing to the left, and some of them are pointing to the right. All right, now I'm going to change to the darker. Get just a little bit of the darker green. And we'll get some dark green sprinkles. I just put that right beside my other one. So we may end up with some mixed colored sprinkles. That may not be too bad though. Where they kind of mix and some of my sprinkles are fatter than the others. Some of them turn weird ways from the others. All right, let me turn it back around this way. There's my sprinkles. Let's see where I have some blank spots that might need some. This one has way more sprinkles than my first one did. So we'll call that a double sprinkle because he ended up being very big. All right, I'm gonna rinse and come back to the lighter color and maybe add a few of them. And then we'll move on to our letters. Let's see, where did I have maybe one there? And let's put one over here and maybe one there. Okay, now I'm going to work on my lettering, which says Merry and Bright. And we're going to go back to I've debated. I saw where one was done with green and I really liked it. And so I'm kind of going back and forth on whether to do a green or whether to do white again. I'm kind of leaning toward green because it would be different than what I did before. So I'm going to get my round brush again, the bigger one that I used for my cake lines. And I'm going to do this in green. And what I may do is do a white shadow on it. I did a green shadow with white letters on the one that I did for the workshop last week. But this time I think I'll do green and do a white shadow. And see how that turns out. And this green is called Festive Green, so it's it's the green I use for a lot of the Christmas stuff that I do. I've discovered sometimes when I'm doing lettering, it's almost like you get to watching the brush as it moves around the curve, especially curved lettering. And it's almost like you kind of get, not in a trance, but you just kind of sort of watch the brush and you feel like, I forgot to mention, or I haven't mentioned yet about Black Friday. I am going to have a special for the Kids Art Club on Black Friday. And that'll run for, I think I'm going to do 48 hours for that. I know most Black Friday stuff is just for Black Friday, but I think I'm going to let it go for 48 hours. And since we are full-fledged in November, that means details for that will be coming very, very soon. I'll be doing an extra Facebook Live. And speaking of Facebook Lives, I did a Facebook Live where I introduced or debuted, premiered, however you want to word that, the Broken Pieces collection. And so I took those pieces, some of the pieces that I've done to the festival with us, and enjoyed hearing from folks about their thoughts on the Broken Pieces collection, and also just talking to them about passing on a portion of the sales to two or three different organizations here in the Mobile area that work with families. And it was so cool to talk to people about that and their reactions and questions that they asked, and how they thought that was just the neatest idea. This color is going to need a few coats as well. I could have gone over it with white and it would have helped. Oh, well, on camera it stands out really well. I'm sitting here looking at it just under the lights thinking, man, this may take 4 coats. And then I look up in the camera view and I'm like, wow, it looks really good in the camera view. It's so funny how things are different looking with the lights and the way the camera picks things up. Sometimes I think, oh wow, this is going to look so good, and then I get to doing my live and I look up at the computer and I'm thinking, oh, that does not look anything like it does in real life. That is one of the things that has not stressed me, but kind of frustrated me with the Broken Pieces collection. I have tried and tried and tried to get pictures that show those pieces and how they look with the shattered glass, and video pictures does not compare to what it looks like in person. It is so shiny and sparkly. I love the way the shattered glass and the resin look on the wooden pieces. And I have tried different camera angles. And just cannot get it to show up right. I can't get it to see what I see so that y'all can see what I see. So, I don't know, still working on trying to fix that problem. Because unless you catch me somewhere out in person at a, craft show or festival or something, it's very hard for me to show y'all what these pieces look like. Because they really, really don't look like what they look like in person when you're trying to take it by picture or video. Video does a little better. So like I posted a video yesterday, I think. My days have run together. I think it was yesterday that I posted a video, and I set up the broken pieces collection piece, and I turned the camera on and just kind of went by it, and you can see a little bit. I was trying so hard to catch it when it would be shiny and pretty and reflect the light, but it did better, but it still isn't capturing what it really is. All right, now, I know you're thinking, Mary Bright, what? There is an and in here, but I want to do it in a different color, so. All right, I'm going to go over this one more time. Like I said, it may take 3 or 4 coats, but I'm going to do one more time. And then I'm going to move on to my little and sign here and get it done. I may do it in the light green, like is what is on the sprinkles. And if I do that, then it'll kind of match the cake. That might be pretty cool, so I may do that. I'll have to do a side-by-side of my other Christmas cake and this one, and you can see the differences between the two of them. Just doing the second coat, and then we'll move on to the little and symbol, and then I'll outline the Christmas cake and we'll wrap it up for the night. I'll finish adding the extra details. And I'll post pictures this week. Keep watching for new items to be posted, both on Facebook and added to the shop, online shop. I added quite a few last week, and I'll be adding more items this week. So if you've got a person that you are looking at on your Christmas list going, I have no idea, browse through the shop. There's some keepsake items. It's more than door hangers. So, you know, if you're thinking, oh, well, they don't like door hangers, well, it's quilted treasures and more. And if you're thinking, well, quilted doesn't say door hangers. No, quilted doesn't say door hangers. When I started my little hobby adventure, I was doing quilted items, and I still do. I love to do baby quilts. And so I have not done many baby quilts lately because most of my time has been spent on door hanger orders. And that's okay. You know, everything has a season. And so, you know, this season, maybe door hangers, and, you know, you never know. Next year I may be in a season of baby quilts. I did quilting for a good bit. Various things that I put together. Table runners, that's another big thing I like to do. I love doing table runners. Matter of fact, when I first started learning how to quilt, that Christmas, everybody got table runners. Everybody. Everybody got table runners. And I actually had quite a few table runner orders. And so my favorite one is the zigzag table runner. And I do have pictures of that. If you hit photos here on the Facebook group, you could probably find photos where I have posted about the zigzag table runners. Quilted items, the thing about it is that you don't get to work quite as many days before Christmas as you do with the door hangers and the keepsake items, the boxes and things like that. Because the quilting, of course, takes a good bit of time. You know, getting it all pieced together, sewn, and then of course the final process of quilting. But I do enjoy doing the quilting. I've had people ask if I sew clothes. No, I never got into clothes, but I love doing quilting stuff, especially baby quilts. Baby quilts and table runners have been the two things I have enjoyed most. I've done other things, but those are the things I've enjoyed most. So after the holidays, That's usually kind of a slower time. That's when most handmade crafty businesses kind of catch their breath. You may see some more quilted items from me in the winter going into spring, and then of course spring door hangers will pick back up again. This is kind of the point where you start seeing more with quilts, because of course temperatures are beginning to change. And so when you hit fall and winter, you see more quilt stuff. And then when you hit spring and summer, you see more, you know, door hangers, keepsakes. You're getting ready for graduations. I have done some baby quilts for, you know, summer deliveries and things like that. But all right, let's get this and sign done so we can see it's in there. Try not to get my fingers in the wet paint. Actually, I don't know. This may not be the color. On top of the red, it makes it look more yellow. Ew, I don't want yellow. I don't know. What does it look like on camera? I don't know. We may change this. I'm going to leave it for right now, but we may change this. My final one may be a different color, because the red behind it is making it look more yellow than it is looking green, and I don't want a yellow and sign. It's Christmas. I want it to look Christmassy. This one I should have done white before I started with the green, with the brighter green. And what I may do is I may go over it with white and then try again. Not right now, I'll do it after we get through, but I at least wanted you to see there is an and sign there. It does say merry and bright. So, all right, well, we're going to leave that for the moment. And what I'm going to do is I am going to grab my paint pen, black paint pen here, and we're just going to go and outline our Christmas cake here. And it's up to you. Sometimes I like to use the fatter one, sometimes I use the skinnier one. Sometimes I like to stay on the edge, sometimes I like to bring the outline in some. Sometimes I do a combination. All right. So there's a little bit of an outline, and I can come back with some white and kind of hit some highlights. Put a few little highlight marks on my Christmas tree. And there is our merry and bright. Now, I'll finish this up and post some final pictures. I'm going to decide on what I'm going to do on the background. I still haven't narrowed it down to whether I want to do a splatter look. Now that I've gotten everything else on there, I probably won't do the splatter look. But I have thought about maybe doing some polka dots. And so I may try to do some polka dots on it before I call it done. And then I'm probably going to change up that and maybe do it white and then come back with the light green, because right now it looks yellow and I don't want yellow. So it might look more green on the camera, but where I'm sitting, it's yellow. I don't want yellow. All right, well, I hope y'all have a great week ahead, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And just keep watching the website and Facebook for new stuff. Like I said, I posted quite a few things last week. Got some more things posting this week. So we are adding earring organizers. You may have seen one or two of those. We've got tea light boxes. Oh, I tell you what, tea light boxes, the nativity one was super popular yesterday. And so I think we took 6 with us. We didn't bring any of them home. So the tea light boxes did really well. And then I really didn't have any big numbers on my door hangers. I had one, maybe two of some of them, but mostly one of everything. And so pretty much when it was get it while you see it, or it may not be here when you come back kind of thing. But we had a lot of fun at the festival yesterday and enjoyed the time meeting folks and talking with them. And, you know, that's one of the things, you get ready for it and you go through all your checklists, you get there, you have a good time, you come home, you're exhausted, and the next day you're going, so when's the next one? So, but I'm not ready for one next weekend. Let's just put it that way. I need a few weeks to recoup, and then maybe something else. So, well, have a great one. This is Sandy with Quilted Treasures and More, and keep watching for new items, and we'll also have the e-newsletter out here probably within the next hour or so. So watch for that as well. If you're not on our e-newsletter list, you can comment below, add me, and I will add you to our list. So that way you can get the weekly news and the inside scoop, because there's information that goes out there that will sometimes be a week, maybe 2 weeks later, hitting the Facebook page. So just keep that in mind. Y'all have a great evening.